The first thing you need to do if you want to interpret someone's social media numbers correctly is to check all of his profiles, not just his Facebook or Instagram. Most people feel that some social media platforms are more important than others, and thus they overbear energy on particular platforms, and thus they might have 15,000 followers on Instagram but only 500 on SoundCloud. That doesn't necessarily mean that they made promotion on that platform, but it necessarily means that they liked that platform. Social media numbers usually come with a specific ratio. For example, a guy who has 5,000 followers on SoundCloud is likely to have 15,000 likes on Facebook and 50 followers on Twitter. That is a very common ratio. If he has 15,000 followers on Facebook but only 50 followers on SoundCloud, the standard analogy is not there, so he has done something to get those likes. Sometimes you see a newcomer, and if you are long enough in the scene, you know that he's a newcomer right away, and this newcomer might have 75,000 subscribers on YouTube, but only 600 likes on Facebook and 200 followers on SoundCloud. That does not mean that his subscribers are fake or that he bought his subscribers. It just means that he had a stroke of luck with one or more of his videos. If you check his videos, you will definitely find a video of him that has an extremely large amount of views compared to his other videos. That video is responsible for the subscribers. Now, the most important factor is not the numbers, but the hike. The most important thing is the growth, the dynamic of the augmentation. You might see a young kid with small but realistic numbers having a spectacular growth. On the other hand, you might see a veteran, being 25 years in the game, having much bigger numbers but much smaller growth. Even though he might have bigger numbers, you can't really say that he is more successful as an artist than the kid of our example, who is having a significant greater growth that will put him on the map the following years. You must be in position to escalate the axes, the dynamic increase, if you want to come to safe conclusions. The axis, or the dynamic increase of the augmentation, goes hand by hand with what we call social media engagement. It is much more important and implies a more realistic success to see people engaged, like commenting, liking, sharing, than seeing big numbers. I believe that everyone can understand that a profile without engagement clearly indicates that those numbers were generated by promotion or sponsored ads. They do not indicate a popular rising star. Now, I have a witty question for you, my dear viewer, a drill for your mind. Let's take the artist Nilix from Germany as our example. At this point, Nilix has 1 million likes on Facebook. And the question is this: his success is the cause of his numbers, or his success is the result of his numbers, or vice versa? You will most probably answer it's vice versa, because those things go along. Well, I'm not really sure about it. What will happen if, for instance, you decide to buy 1 million likes using Facebook ads. Will you become the next Nilix and every promoter will be looking for a way to book you? No. Why is that? For plenty reasons. There are many things happening simultaneously along with each like or follow. But there is one particular thing that is more important than the like itself, and that is the impression. If you suddenly buy 1 million likes, you won't be Nilix because you did not give the chance to people to choose to like you at their own will. You advertised. You forced them to like you. Second reason, you did not complete the steps that are required to get from level 0 to the level of Nilix, which means that your content and your music has not the same value as Nilix. Third, you didn't meet all the people that you would meet if you let time do the job instead of buying likes. Fourth and most important, you didn't make the same amount of impressions to people. Now that is very important because there is a specific way that our brain operates. In order for your brain to categorize or tag something or someone, it does a rather complicated process. You see something for the first time and subconsciously you have a few choices. You can either like it, dislike it, or have a certain opinion about it, or it can be something totally neutral to you. Then, at some point, you might see it again somewhere because let's say someone has uploaded a track of Nilix on his YouTube channel. Then, at another point, you attend a party and the name Nilix is listed on the leaflet. Now, no matter if you can remember how his music sounds, and no matter if your brain can recall any of his brand information or products, you can still conclude that you know him because there are some neurons in your brain that indicate that you have seen his name before. So when something appears in front of you several times, your brain brings it in the surface faster and more effectively, and that procedure is translated to I know him, I know Nilix. So now we can understand the mechanism behind a basic human behavior. People tend to attach easier to familiar things. And that happens because we were monkeys for thousands of years and it's in our DNA to feel good with what we know and feel scared or displeased with what we don't know. Back in the days when we were monkeys, we would choose to follow or hunt a familiar, harmless creature rather than a dangerous, unknown creature. It's called self-preservation instinct or something like that. Anyway, people tend to follow and to get emotionally attached with what they know. That is a rule. So when you buy likes, you are not really getting there. You are of course making an impression, but it's more or less the first impression to an audience that is inadequate of creating an emotional attachment to your brand. The persons who pressed like on the page of Nilix are persons that saw his name several times and had multiple impressions or encounters at different times till Nilix became a familiar figure and then they eventually pressed like and became a sustainable listener slash fan slash buyer. Now, you might think, no, that's all bullshit. I know Nilix because I like his music. I can tell you 1,000 brands that you know and that you never enjoyed their music, but you know them. So buying likes or advertising is not a bad thing, but it's highly degraded compared to allowing to people to discover you naturally and to allow to your audience to grow organically. So buying likes or followers won't change much. It won't bring a drastical change. Now, many marketing gurus will object, saying, "You know nothing about music marketing. Without spending money, there is no chance that you will make it." To people that will tell you the above sentence, check their profiles and see that they are not artists. And they never made it as artists. They are promoters, YouTubers, whatever the fuck you want, but they are not artists. Real artists that made it in the music industry will not suggest to spend money on advertisement. What you need is not more likes, but more impressions. What you need is to appear on all platforms, on leaflets, on parties, on TV if possible, on radio, on all different sources. And that can be only achieved through time and activity. You can't get there by just running ads. You must put in the work.